Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity, and I'm up again today with that planner page and a few more stamps. So if you watched yesterday, we used this one. I'm trying to find them because I've got my hands all jumbled up. We used that one, and we also used this one with the borders. Now when I went off camera I was a little bit naughty, and I'll just tell you, I used the Love is Love stamp, which is this one. You can see I didn't put it back right, so I used that one off camera, and I also discovered this one, and I haven't put that one back on right. That is small but absolutely gorgeous, absolutely love it, and I also used that one. So let me show you what I got up to on camera, off camera, sorry. So there's that little splash which goes absolutely perfectly over the holes of your planner. I absolutely love that. This is what we got up to yesterday, but I stuck it down and I put tape just down the three sides so that I've got a pocket. So there is a pocket there. Now I also added a couple of little kisses here. So that's how naughty I was off camera, but I absolutely love that. Love that little ink splash on there. And I also covered the back. Now I did the back using Panelisa's collage papers that I shared with you a couple of weeks ago. So that's where we are at the moment with our planner page. Right, now being naughty again, I did stamp and cut this watercolour cardstock again, and it's this stamp, and it's from, let me grab it, pop that down there. It's from this pack here, which is the, I've got it back to front, which is the girl's face, and then you've got the feather, and you've also got this. Now I do think that I'm going to be using that today, and maybe the flowers here as well. They're just really cute. They've got all, you know, you can fussy cut them, do whatever it is that you want, and I love that tiny little star. And also there's a compass there, so another great one. And I do love that sentiment. I think I read that one out yesterday. Now we may also use one from this sentiment pack, so wrong way round and upside down. Yay! Good morning everyone. So I may use something from there. And we've also got the birdie set. Now I do love that huge panicle shaped flower. Don't know what kind of flower that is, whether it's, you know, wild parsley or whatever it's called, but it's just really sweet. And I do like that secret garden as well, so I might use that one, and also this one, because there's certain little elements within this which are just great for using. Upside down again, there you go, lost and found. So a lot of, you know, scribbles and squiggles going on there. Now I'm going to move the planner page out of the way just for a minute, and these bits that we're doing will kind of finish that one, and then we're going to come back tomorrow, and everybody wants to see those Christmas bird stamps, so we're going to do that. So today I have cut a, well, I actually cut these as well, but I'm not using that one today. And these I will link below. I'm pretty sure they're still available, so I'll try and find them. But I'm using the heart-shaped Polaroid today. So I'm just going to pop those out of the way and share my cuts with you. I'm still using the Walmart watercolour cardstock. Yes, I am. So I've cut a back to go with my heart-shaped Polaroid, and that is going to lay out onto there. And I've got a little heart as well, which I intend to pop into there. But what I want to do with this is I want to collage that, and I want to leave it in black and white. I'm not going to add any colour to this stamped element. But what I'm going to do is I want to stamp colour on the background. Now with this piece, if you watched yesterday, I did a lot of inking and spraying, and I'm going to do that exactly the same, using exactly the same colours. So you've seen that, and I'll come back when I've squirted it. Right, so I've done that, and it was done exactly the same way that I did the page yesterday. Just squid your ink down on your mat and then pick it up with your cardstock. So this is my frame, and then I've done the heart just in pink. Now I have heat dried, and as I said yesterday, when you heat dry damp cardstock, it will tend to curl up until you glue it, and you know, just straighten it out just by giving it a gentle bend. So that's where we're at so far, and now we're going to use some stamps. So I'm just going to take that bit out, and I want this one onto here, and I'm just going to use it a couple of times, I think. And then I think I'm going to go down the bottom edge of the Polaroid with this one. So let's get this out and get stamping. Right, just put everything out of the way. And because I'm not using my stamp platform, I'm only really going to go for what's going to fit on my block. Now that's the face stamp that I used before, so I'm just going to put this down on my mat and remember to wash it and put it back. Right, so how much of this fits? If I'm lucky, all of it will, just about. But as I said, I'm just going to use this one a couple of times. Now I have got an ink pad somewhere, and I'm using Distress Archival again. So just going to load this up with some ink. And I want to stamp it right there. I am applying a little bit of pressure. And if you find that when you are stamping, if you haven't applied enough pressure, don't worry about it, because you know what you're creating is quite distressed. But that is a fabulous image there. Love that. And I'm just putting some more ink on. I think I might come in off this side actually. And of course we're using a silicone mat, which is fine because we can just squirt it and clean it up. So I'm going to put that there, and because I like to work in threes, I'm going to come in on the other side as well. So I'll stamp the whole thing up just in case I decide to utilise that, but I'm just going to go right there. Right, lovely. Now I'm just going to clean my mat and I'll be back. Well, actually I just realised cleaning my mat would be pointless because I'm about to stamp again, and this is the reverse of the Polaroid, so no one's ever going to see any disaster. And now we're going to use this grassy stamp, which is from the same set. So I'm just going to stamp this all over. And I think I'm going to try and go for the birdie bits, and I'm going to go there. So now that's stamped up, and I think I'm going to go up the side a bit as well. So I'm just inking it up again. And this time I'm going to go a little bit higher, but without getting the harsh line of the base in. So I've gone a little way up there, and I think that looks a bit better. And I'm going to turn it to an angle and ink that up again. And do exactly the same thing. So trying to see that there, I'm going to go there. Right, so now we have that on there. Hope that's not blurred. There we go. So we've got a little bit of stamping in that area, and that is now going to be glued on top of there. So I'm going to glue it on top, clean that, and I will be right back. Okay, so I've glued the Polaroid and I've popped the little heart in there, and I did do some ink blending on the inside of the frame because I wanted it to look a bit distressed. But now that I think my glue's dry, I'm also going to go around the outside edge. So I'm just going to scruff that up a bit and just darken it. I don't want to lose all the colour that I'd put down, so I'm doing it a little bit careful. Ooh, I quite like the way I caught that in a sharp angle there. It's amazing how much fun you can have when you get all your inks out. Right, so that is that, and now I want to do the edges of this stamp, which is just going to sit directly in the middle of that Polaroid. So I'm just going all around my cut edges here. Because I quite like the starkness of black and white against colour sometimes. So I'm going to put some glue on here and stick it down, but I may have to vanish for a little while this dries. So I just want to go basically in the centre with this, and if I want to use anything else afterwards then I will, but I think I've got that centre. Right, so I'm squidging it and I'm holding it, and I'll be right back. Right, so that is now dry, and I've got that in the middle, and I just love the stark difference of the black and white against some colour. And there's a little bit of stamping and blending around the edge there of your Polaroid. Now I've got a little stamp from this sentiment set, and it's the word smile, so I'm going to ink that up and I want to put it here. I'm just moving some of my junk out of the way. Right, and we'll get to see how this one stamps. I'm pushing that down there. So now I've got smile on there. Now if you want to add other little stamps that will kind of, you know, link it in to what you've already done, these are going to need a good clean after. Then totally do that. I mean, there is one here that I quite like, and that's this twiggy one, and I might use that actually a couple of times. Why not? So let's open this pack up. It's just great to be able to make a mess. So I've got that little star. I mean, little elements like this are absolutely perfect for putting onto ATCs. Right, I'm going to use that 3 times. I promise you, I do not avoid the cracks in pavements, but there you go. I've got one there. And I'm going to go down in this little bare corner here, because I love that little stamp. I go, yeah, I'll just go there. And of course, if you did these and you emboss them in a copper, gold or a bronzy colour, they're going to look like little screw heads, aren't they? So that's just a really sweet little stamp. Now, to me, that is finished, but what I want to do, because I love this one, I don't know if it's going to fit my block. No, it's not. So I'm going to have to move all my stuff. I'll pause for a minute and come back with my stamp platform. Right, so I've got my stamp platform and I put my planner page down and it's open, and I'm basically working at weird angles with this because it's much larger than the platform, and I just want to use that sort of like twiggy branch on the inside face sections. Now I have got my magnet down there, hopefully that's going to hold it in place, and I'm only going to need to stamp once. That's what I'm hoping. So I'm just putting some ink onto here, and then I'm going to close it, and let's see what we've got. I mean, you can, if you like me, you know, just put your stamp down onto your mat and then rub your paper over it, which is great if you're doing random stamping. But if you're trying to, you know, sort of place it somewhere in particular, that can be a little bit tricky. Now I'm wondering how far over here I can get, and if my stamp is going to go there, and I think it will, but you know, let's have a look. About there. So there you go. Sometimes you just have to finagle your stuff to get it done. Right, so I'm going to go off there. I mean, when you're doing something like this, you can just keep building on it. And, you know, just do it until you feel that you've had enough. So I've got those branches now stamped within the inside of the head section. I'm just going to take that stamp out, put it back. Right, I'm just going to pause, move my stuff, and I'll be right back. Well, I've decided I want some white dots in those branches, so I've got my Posca pen. It's a Uni Posca, and this is an M3. So I have shared my paint pens previously, so I'm just checking that it's working. And you can cap it and shake it. Make sure you cap it, because sometimes things can come flying out, and all that shaking will do is just mix the pigment for you so that it's truly white. Now on this stamped area, I just kind of like the idea of adding my own little fantasy dots. That's what I'm having. It's just a little bit of something else. You can have as many or as few as you want, but you know me, just get carried away is what I say. So I've added a little bit there, and you know, just the therapy of doing something like this is just absolutely wonderful. You just lose yourself and lose all sense of time, and don't be afraid, because always remember that if you don't like it, you can always put it in the bin and start all over again. You would be surprised how many projects I put into the bin because I just did not like the way that I did it first time. And anybody that tells you they don't do that is a liar. I'm sorry, but they are. Right, let's have a close-up now. So we've almost got that like dreamlike structure going up their faces. We've got the kisses that we put into there yesterday, and all that, you know, sort of like spraying of water to lift some of that ink, because it is a pretty strong background in comparison to everything else. But the white dots on the inside, and I use my white paint pen to do the white dots on the outside. Now then, let's tie it in a little bit more, and I'm going to put a few white dots onto these branches down here. And one of the beauties of mixed media and altered art is that you can end up using so many different colours that you can quite literally then put anything with anything and it will just all blend in. So, you know, you don't have to kind of worry about being matchy and stuff like that, because once you've used pink, orange, yellow, green, do you know what I mean? You can use anything that you want to use. but I just love the stark whiteness of that center image, that there's, you know, nothing going on there. But within that, you know, you can close the lid on her and she can become part of the front of that pocket. You can glue her down, or let's hope that she can go inside of there, you know, and become part of that. So that is the first page. That's what we've got up to with our stamps so far, and we have used quite a few, I think. So, you know. Oh, and also just to tell you, Posca pen, it dries really quickly. If anybody thought, you know, shoving it in there was going to smear it, it does dry really quickly. And I may even go away off camera and just dot a few around here, because I just like it so much. And I love the sort of like smudged effect of that heart. It's kind of there, but it's not there. Love that. Right. I thank you so much for joining me today. As usual, have an absolutely awesome day. And as usual, all links are below. Thanks so much. Up again tomorrow. Bye.